Hey guys, I am in my living room today where I have rearranged the furniture to make room for my yoga mat. And I want to show you a really super low-key, sort of yummy stretch for sciatica, low back pain, or hip tightness. I'll give you a little bit of my own background. I never had sciatica until my third pregnancy. And I experienced really severe sciatica through most of that pregnancy. Hey kitty. And then afterwards, I definitely had flare-ups for years. I would have flare-ups. That would really take the quality out of life for a while. Sometimes excruciating pain. Until I became interested in yoga. And that interest quickly became a daily practice for me because I loved it and benefited from it so much. Since I started practicing yoga, it's been years now, I have never once experienced a sciatic flare-up. So it's been a cure for me, and I wanted to share some of these stretches with you guys. If you are in the middle of a sciatic flare-up right now, this may not be for you. You would definitely want to listen to your body, how you're feeling in your body, and proceed from there. If you are not having a sciatic flare-up, but you do sometimes, then this might be just the thing for you, especially if you were to start doing this several times a week or daily. I believe that you would also benefit like I have. So let's get started today with our legs straight out in front, both legs extended out, and we'll bend the right leg and plant that foot right inside your inner thigh here. Now take your left hand and reach around outside this leg and take a little twist. So we're turning to the right, and then take your right fingertips, put them right behind you, so that you can sit up really nice and tall here. So what I want us to do here in the beginning is just to kind of move around, move our spines, open up the hip joints a little bit, and then we'll get into some really yummy stretches. And we'll take these stretches kind of slow, a minute or maybe two on each side. These are large muscle groups. So a nice long stretch is needed with lots of breath support. So let's take nice big inhales and exhales here. And now we'll extend that right leg out, and we'll bring the left leg in. Plant the foot. Reach around with your right hand. Take the left fingertips right behind you so you can sit up nice and tall, and don't forget to breathe. And we'll turn back to the front and bring both soles of the feet together. Opening the knees out, and allow a little bit of a melting here. So maybe your knees, as you take several breaths here, maybe your knees can sort of melt down toward the mat. We'll just breathe here nice and slow. So if this is good for you and you're happy here, stay right here. You have an option, if you feel like you have more accessibility, to keep your spine long and extend your heart forward by leaning in. So spine stays long, heart comes forward, Shoulders are back, collarbones are long. So we're really getting into the hip joint here. So you listen to your body, lean in the distance that is right for you. And then we'll roll back up slowly. And we'll extend both legs straight out again. Now I want you to put your heels down on the floor with knees bent here. And you'll need to experiment a little bit with how much you want to bend your knees here. So let's take the right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. So we're making a figure 4. Now what you want to do is fold in toward that calf, folding the chest in. So you start to feel this really great stretch. Nice long breath cycles. So we have a muscle deep inside the glute. It's called the piriformis. I'm going to show you a picture in just a minute. It lies very close to the sciatic nerve. So if your piriformis is tight, and a lot of folks, especially those who work out a lot, run, lift weights, walk, that piriformis muscle shortens and becomes very tight. That can cause a sciatic flare-up. So these kind of stretches and some more that we'll do in just a few minutes definitely help with that. Now let's sit back up, uncross, and we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Same thing. When you're set, fold in. Take your chest down toward your calf and breathe. We'll roll back up. This next stretch is called the 90-90 stretch because we're trying to get 90-degree angles on both legs. So here's what it looks like. We'll bring the right leg in front, and we're looking to get the shin parallel maybe to the edge of your mat, and then a 90-degree ankle at the knee. And then the left leg comes back, so we're looking to get another 90-degree angle here and at that knee. So already you're starting to feel this get right into the hip joints. So we'll sit up nice and tall as we're able here. Give our bodies just a moment to understand what we're asking of it. So I'm assuring that I've got a 90-degree angle here at my knee and 90-degree angle back here on the left leg. Now let's take a little lean in forward, maybe not too far, a little small movement maybe. Lean in. So we start to get into the hip joint here. And then roll up. And let's turn toward the left leg. Now this is going to be a very small movement. If you feel like you can, lean forward toward that left knee. Just a little bit. we'll sit back up, turn back to the front. And without using our hands, we'll get a little functional movement here. Let's change to the other side, no hands, maybe. You might put your fingertips down. So we look to get those 90-degree angles again here. This side's going to feel very different. This is a tighter movement for me here. So I'm trying to sit up tall. And then exhale and lean in just a bit. And then roll up, turn toward the right knee, and lean forward. Sit back up, turn forward, and we'll try this with no hands again. Bring the right leg back around. Now, we'll be lying down on the mat here, but before we do that, I want to show you a picture of the piriformis muscle. So here's what it looks like. Now, this is your pelvis. See if you can see. This is the hip joint, the femur or the leg bone. Now this red muscle, it kind of runs horizontally across deep inside the glute. That's the piriformis. And this is the sciatic nerve. You see how they are very closely intertwined almost. So that's what we're seeking to stretch out today, is this piriformis muscle right here. All right, let's lie down on the mat. So we'll hold behind the knees and roll all the way back. So just initially here, we'll bring both knees in. And then let's set the right foot and the left foot down. Knees bent. Let's plant the feet right behind your hips. Now, if you can take your hand and feel a little space under your low back, let's work on removing that space simply by pressing your back down to the mat. And take some breaths right here. See what this feels like. Feel your entire spine pressing down to the mat. Let's take another breath cycle here. Now take your right ankle and cross it over the left thigh, very similar to what we did seated a few minutes ago. This may be enough for you right here, just to cross that ankle over. You may feel a nice stretch in the outer right hip and glute. Or you can take your right hand, take it right in between your thighs, and pull everything in. Both legs come in. And then if you have the accessibility, you can take your hands on top of your shins. Now let's lower the left foot, and we'll go ahead and cross this right leg on over, sort of like ladies might sit in church. Take your arms straight out to the side like a T. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Let your knees fall to the left, and keep your right shoulder down on your mat here. Don't forget to breathe. Listen to your body. So if any one of these stretches just does not seem right or feel right to you, then skip it. Well, let's take the knees back up. Slide your hands in and pull both knees in. Now again, you might want to just stay right here. If you feel like you can go in a little bit deeper, a little bit more accessibility here for you, then reach your hands down for your feet. You'll grab the outside of the feet and then go ahead and flex your feet. Pull those knees in toward your chest. Now you can deepen this stretch by taking the feet out a little farther apart and kicking the feet into your hands. So the closer your feet are together, the easier the stretch. The stretch becomes more intense when you pull the feet apart, more space between the feet. Now let's release that very slowly. Uncross the legs, plant both feet. Now let's just take the knees side to side here, just to take a moment to recenter. Settle back in the center. We'll do all of that on the other side. So we'll cross the left ankle on the right knee, or the right thigh. Stay right here if this is good, or reach your left hand right between, around the back of your right hamstring. Pull everything in, both legs. And then of course, if it's accessible, you can hold on top of the right shin. Taking nice deep breaths here. Now let's plant the right foot. Reach your arms out like a T. Go ahead and cross that left leg on over. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale the knees to the left, pressing the right shoulder down to the mat. always find, take a few breath cycles and I get a little bit of a release or a surrender so that my body relaxes a bit. I feel like initially when you first get into a stretch, it feels so intense. You take a few breaths and give yourself a few moments. Now we'll bring the knees back up. Slide your hands in. Bring the knees into your chest. Stay right here if this is good, or reach for those feet, outside edges of the feet. Pull the feet apart as much as you have that accessibility. So we get some space between the feet by pulling just a little. Pull the knees in as close as you're able. And breathe. Even if you don't have sciatica, this is such a good stretch. Maybe you just did a lot of yard work or went for a long run. Maybe if you just sit in your desk all day at work, this is great. One more breath. And let's release slowly down, uncross. Now you have an option here to grab a pillow, put it under your knees, extend your legs all the way out and let your arms relax. Maybe rest your hands on your belly. Let your legs relax so your feet kind of fall open. Close your eyes. And then maybe stay here as long as you like.